What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. It's time to take a look at Atomic Heart running on the Steam Deck. This is definitely a game I've been anticipating for a while and have been hoping it would run well here on the deck, especially with the run of horribly optimized PC games we've had recently. Fortunately, I've been pleasantly surprised so far with a few hours into the game and its performance on the Steam Deck and elsewhere when it comes to my PC, so that has been nice to see here with Atomic Heart. But of course, no matter where you're at, whether you're underground in dungeons or up in the open world, your performance will vary, but it is a good experience. I am windowed 800p here, and I'm always going to have depth of field and motion blur off with medium TAA, but other than that, I'm going to let the presets handle everything else. So here on the low preset with FSR off, just sitting here in the very beginning spot, I want to use this just to show the difference in performance a little bit sitting still and FSR comparison, because I really don't want to use FSR in this game. Now here's the medium preset we'll switch over to here with FSR off as well, and of course we do take a big hit on our FPS here, but it does vary depending on where you're at in the game, and we'll take a look at that. Now just switching over to high for the fun of it, I knew we'd take a big hit here, and I'm not going to recommend going above medium in this game no matter what, no matter where you're at really, but I do want to show it there. Now here's high with FSR on balanced, and I'm really not a fan of the FSR implementation in this game, and it's very blurry, and I'd really rather play without it. You don't gain much on high or above either. Now with medium with FSR on quality, you do gain 8 to 10 FPS, but the image quality loss for me isn't necessarily worth it. Going down to low, we can go from that 50-51 up to 60 here in this area sitting still, but again, for me, image quality kind of trumps the few FPS that we can get in this game. And if I look at them side by side and you really kind of study it, you lose a lot of detail, especially further out when you're looking at the trees, the reflection off the truck out there. There's a lot of missing detail and flickering and things that for me, FSR in this game is not really worth it. So I'm going to keep that off for most of my gameplay and recommend you do the same unless you just really need those few FPS here and there. Now let's go underground, because you have these underground areas that you explore where you're going to get some different performance. I still think low and medium are the way to go, or a mix, but you do get just better overall performance because you're not rendering out the whole open world and it just reacts a bit differently. So jumping into here with the low preset and FSR off, except for some of the dips you'll see, you can largely maintain about 60 FPS in a lot of these underground areas that way with nice image quality without using FSR, and everything feels really smooth and really nice to play that way. It's different in the open world, but I wanted to show the performance down here as well. Now, when you jump over into something like the same comparison we were looking at topside, we have FSR off here and low just sitting still in this area. We jump up to medium, FSR off as well, and we'll dip a few FPS here and there. If we were moving around, you would see a lot more difference, but you'll get better performance, of course, underground than you do above. We jump over to high for the fun of it. You won't see that 20-some FPS you saw above ground, but you'll still dip down to 40s, and when moving around and getting into combat, definitely going under 30 when it comes to that. Now, FSR on quality with the low preset, again, not a fan of the implementation of FSR or what we really gain here. It's just not really worth it to me. We switch over to medium preset with FSR on quality. Again, you just lose detail in the gun, the hand, the details out in the farther distance. I just not really a fan of FSR here. And when we take a look at comparison, you can see them side by side, and you can definitely pick up on the differences you're getting. Again, if you really need those few 5 to 10 FPS here and there and you want to use FSR, go for it, but for me, it's not really worth it in this game. So anyways, as you can see, when you're under the ground, you're in these dungeons and you're doing these puzzle areas and stuff, you know, performance will be different than when you're up topside, and you can certainly get away with some more down here. But let's jump up to after this dungeon. When you get out into this village area, getting topside, this is where our performance will start to change a little bit. Leaving FSR off for all of this, like I had said, this is kind of what I'm going to stick with, but you can get pretty decent performance. I'm actually surprised at how well this game runs, considering how good it actually looks, because we've been getting some pretty rough PC launches lately where we're struggling in the 20s and 30s even on low settings for games on the deck, and some that don't even look as good as this one. So I've been pleasantly surprised with the performance. Now, if you take these low settings and lock it to 30 FPS, you can bring that usage of your battery down a good bit. You can get a steady performance. You know, low's not going to have any problem. I don't even think in other areas of the game necessarily holding you 30 FPS, saving you some battery life, and keeping things consistent. Even over on medium, for the most part, I could get 30 FPS, but I do think there's going to be areas of the game that dip from time to time, because I did see some 28s and 29s in this area. And we'll switch over to the 40 FPS cap because I think that explains a little bit of that here with the medium preset. You can see we're only barely up above that 30 most of the time, so it does have the ability pretty easily under some stress to dip below 30 and come back up. But I think medium preset, this might be a decent 30 FPS cap way to go here. And if we switch back over to low, we can get a 40 FPS cap really clean. And as you saw our performance earlier, anywhere from 48 FPS to 60 FPS, I think for most parts of the game, this might hold up for the 40 FPS cap. And then low, if you really want to push it and go to a 50 FPS cap, you could do that. But without FSR, you will come below that from time to time. So at the end, the game runs really well on the Steam Deck, and it runs really well on my local PC. And again, like I said earlier, I'm really happy to finally see a PC game come out that seems to be decently enough optimized that we can run it pretty well everywhere, including the Steam Deck, and get some good performance out of it. But anyways, guys, I hope this video helps you decide how you want to run the game. At the end of the day, what's most important is that you're running this game the way you want to on your deck and enjoying it. Thanks a lot for coming to check out the video as always. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.